Welcome back to Gossip Queens and Fantasy Things. We're your hosts. I'm Addie.
I'm Taven.
And I'm Cody, the
He's
guest star.
back.
Our guest star, Cody, our favorite person, my favorite person. If you... Yeah, you.
It's one of mine, I guess.
One. If you don't listen frequently, Cody is my husband, so we're excited to have him on the podcast with us today to chat.
A little special episode he wanted to be a part of.
Yes, we've been getting into the Halloween spirit. And we just watched Over the Garden Wall this week, which is a favorite for me and Cody.
It was my first watch, and they were so excited to get me into it. They were like, come on, you have to come watch Over the Garden Wall.
I just knew it's like Taven's show to a T.
It's right up my alley.
So for years we've been trying to get her to watch it. So we were excited to watch it together. We wanted to do an episode together. And this is one you should definitely tune into the YouTube to check out our costumes because they're really good.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall, pause, go watch it. It takes 100 minutes because they're 10 minutes.
Episodes,
10 by 10.
That sounds like a lot. It's only an hour and a half, pretty
yeah.
much. It's on Hulu, no ads, even if you have ads.
Yeah.
Even if you're poor, like us.
But so maybe we can get into our costumes later, and we'll start with our weekly recap.
Which is not really a weekly recap.
Yes,
It's a
we
throwback.
it's
a
our
life
weekly
recap.
throwback.
Oh, I like that.
Cody just said that, so I won't take credit.
I speak quietly, so.
Don't speak quietly so people can hear you. But we typically do our weekly recap, but Taven and I just recorded our last episode on Monday. It's Thursday today. And I'm going out of town for the next week and a half, so we're kind of trying to stack up some recordings, so we don't have much of a recap for the week.
Make sure you guys don't miss out on content. I know we were gone for like 2 weeks. That won't happen again.
Yes. Well,
It might.
you never know.
But not this week.
Not this week. But so instead of a recap, we were like, let's share some of our favorite memories. Again, if you haven't listened, you're just tuning in for the first time. We all met, well, Taven and I have been friends since we were kids, but the three of us became very, very close friends all at the same time.
The trio.
If you will. So we have a lot of memories together. Cody's doing his maths over there. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we just all wanted to kind of share a favorite memory, get us into the chatty mood, and then we'll dive into Over the Garden Wall.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Taven's locked and loaded with her memory.
This is a memory I wanted to share for so long. I was like, I want to share this story so bad, and I finally got permission. So
we have some crazy stories, so we have had to edit at certain times. Taven will be like, I want to share this, or I'll be like, I want to share this, and we're like,
maybe leave out these details.
I feel like they're not that crazy, they're just embarrassing.
I don't know, I feel like some of them are kind of wild. Like, I tell these stories to other people, and they're like, what the fuck?
That's true. That's kind of how I feel about this story, so
I'm
excited for you to share it.
Okay, so once upon a time, we all went on a little camping trip to Moab with a few other friends, but it was a great time, a great trip, but we did end up playing Truth or Dare in the tent one night, and...
This was before Cody and I we weren't even dating. We had dated for like a month, and then broke up, and then we were all just friends
again,
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be so much crazier of a story if you guys were dating.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
time. You know, Truth or Dare, once you get married, you just stop playing because it's
a young man's game.
We all know the point of Truth or Dare, right? You're trying to get some people to kiss or something.
You have 3 warm-up dares and then it's straight to business.
Something. Yeah.
3 warm-up dares.
That's what it's like,
I dare you
to eat a bug.
Sorry, I guess
that's part of Taven's story.
That was the warm-up dare, I guess. But I don't know why I have a thing... Well, I feel like a lot of people have a thing with bugs and insects, but for some reason, they dared me to eat a bug, and it was like the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Is your thing with bugs that you think they're so tasty?
No. But there was like, you know when you're like tent camping and you have like the lantern on the ceiling and then there's like all the little bugs that fly around, so I literally just like picked off a little bug off the lantern and ate it. It was so gross.
I've eaten a lot of bugs.
That's
and
crazy.
It's not a big deal.
Supposedly you eat 7 spiders a year just sleeping.
I don't know about that.
One time I was with one of my friends at like a street food place and she got this little meatball skewer and she bit into one of the meatballs, and then it literally had just bugs in it, like little roly-polies and like little centipedes. Like, I don't even know what type of bugs, flies, but they were like cooked into the meatballs, and she was like, I am not going to eat these. I'm like, I ain't letting that go to waste.
I paid $3 for these meatballs.
I paid 50 cents for those meatballs.
50 cents? Can't let that go to waste.
No.
That's so gross. Okay.
We were at a place.
Okay.
This was like 6 months ago. I ate, at the El Cap.
Oh, that was like a year ago.
A year ago. Just a casino that we were at, and I got food there.
There was just a bug. She like got to the end of her meal. She had like 3 fries left, and there was just like one big ass bug right on the plate. And I was like,
not a small bug.
That's like gross. That's been in your food the whole time, and you were just like, I'm still gonna finish it.
No, but I finished eating my fries, and I did not complain.
She was like, it's not moving. I'll just pick around it. It's like, how many other bugs are probably in there? It was like a big bug.
I'm speechless.
Sorry, that got sidetracked from your story.
Gonna dive right back in, otherwise I'm gonna spend way too long thinking about that. So, anyway, then we dared Cody to streak from our tent to the bathroom, which is a pretty far distance.
And
it was not
there was another
streak.
camp in between there, and they were all out. They were all hanging out.
They were having a fire.
They had blankets.
Streak Cody.
Shoes on.
I had shoes on.
So, naked shoes on.
Yeah. The way God intended.
You're just in Moab with your family, just having a nice night by the fire, and then just
Luckily, it looked like, I think it was a bunch of bros, so I think they would have loved it if they saw my cheeks, you know?
They get it.
They're like,
But yeah, so the highlight of this story is that we had dared Cody to kiss our friend, and Cody was like, after the game had ended, Truth or Dare was over, and Cody turns to Addie and I and is like, guys, if I die tonight, if like a bear comes and attacks us, I just don't want this person to be the last person that I've kissed. Can I kiss both of you?
Cody, you're so crazy. But we were like...
But did it work?
It did work.
It did.
And we both kissed Cody and went to bed.
Yeah.
That's something as the trio that we'll always have.
That's actually crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
That Taven's kissed my husband.
I liked your kiss better, if that makes...
Thank you. But we're not part of the Mormon swingers.
Upset about that.
We've never swung since we've been together.
Okay.
This was while we were still...
Okay, and that's not swinging.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We've never swung since we've been married.
I've never swung ever.
or
ever.
All.
Or ever. Swinging, yeah.
We have never swung.
Together.
No, well, okay. We've never swung ever. But it's like, I just meant, okay, I don't know what I meant.
That just brings up another good memory, but...
Okay, no, say it.
Yeah. Because there's been assumptions before that we may or may not have played into, but one time we were at not Bear Lake, at Pineview.
Reservoir.
Oh my gosh, this is a crazy memory. This makes us sound
Can I tell
crazy.
This
one? Yeah.
Okay.
This will be my memory. It's going to take my place. Okay. We go to, it was like a summer day. We all had the day off. I think Taven called in to work.
Probably.
I think, anyways, we're up at the reservoir, the local reservoir. And we're hanging out on the beach, having a good time, soaking up the sun. And then we see, like, people boating. And they pull up to us. They're just like, y'all want to ride?
It was like 3 50-year-old
Three,
dudes.
like, just old dudes. And they're like, y'all want to come for a ride?
On the boat?
And we're just like, sure.
Hell yeah.
We swim out there.
We swim out there. And I'm like... This is a little weird, but I'm like, I can probably take them. I've been watching a lot of anime that summer, so I'm like, I could probably do it.
Well, and I wasn't concerned because I'm like, I'm with Cody.
Yeah, if Cody was not there,
I would never would have gone on that boat. But they had like the surfboards and the wakeboards, so they're like, "Come, we'll take you surfing and wakeboarding."
I think right before that too, we'd been like, "Oh God, it'd be so nice if we were on a boat right now."
We literally were like, "Should we flag those guys down and see if they'll boat it?" And they heard us. They knew that we wanted it. It was, to be fair, too, I think it was, like, just us and them at the reservoir that day.
There was not a lot of
no other people
it was
there.
cold. Like, we barely got in the water.
I had to, this is later in the story. I had to wear a wetsuit.
Oh, yeah.
To the surfboard, yeah.
I remember having, like, I got, like, freaking hypothermia. I started shivering like crazy. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I have a picture where we're all, like, in, like,
I couldn't freaking
towels.
move. I was, like, paralyzed from shivering.
Oh, my gosh.
I was a little worried, actually, when Cody got on the surfboard. It was the first moment I was worried. I was like, what if he falls and they just leave him in the water?
I actually had that thought, too.
Because one of the guys did start being creepy to me and Taven, and the other 2 old guys were just, like, they were almost
you're
cool,
crazy, but less.
They were kind of didn't like him. They
seemed like they didn't like him. Probably because he was being creepy
to these young gals.
and their friend.
Anyway.
But yeah, we convinced them while we were on the boat. They're like, oh, so how do you guys all know each other? And like, oh, we're in a throuple. And they were like, that's interesting. And we're like, yeah, so we all date each other. It's fun. And they're like, oh.
That's why they wanted us on the boat. They thought they were gonna... They're like, these people are open as
They're
hell.
They
down
want an
for
orgy
whatever.
for sure. They want a weird boat orgy.
Was that the OG lie? The first ever lie that we pulled off as a trio?
Probably. Have we pulled off a lot of lies?
Maybe not as a trio, but we lie to each other a lot for fun now.
That's true.
Is that where it all began? Addie saw the looks on their face.
She's like, this is...
I'm like,
like,
this is
I have
great.
a thrill like
I
I've
like
never
this.
felt before.
I love lying to people. It's
Addie
great.
lies to us all the time, just for fun, about the most random stuff.
Yeah.
She'll be like, oh yeah, I take like 8 melatonins to go to bed at night. I'm like, Addie, that's crazy!
When
When's-
Cody and I... Oh, are you
You
telling
wanna
the
tell?
cereal thing?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
you can
thinking.
say it.
Oh, well, so, yeah, Addie and I were, like, first married, and we were out of milk, and I wanted cereal that morning. And Addie's like, just put water in it.
Ew!
But she said it's so deadpan. I was like, no, haha, like, kind of joking. And she was like, no,
I'm
like,
serious.
seriously, just do it. If you want cereal so bad, just do it with water. It tastes the same.
I do it all the time.
I do it all the time. And then I was like, no, you don't. And then she's like, yeah, a lot of people do. Your brother does it. And I was like, he does? So I called him, and like halfway through the phone call, like it was like ringing, and Addie's like, I lied or whatever. And I was
just
like,
kidding.
what the heck?
I don't know why you believed me. I talked to your brother like 2 times at that point.
I
We
don't
hadn't
know.
been married for very long.
Maybe you guys were just like, oh, what do you like to eat for breakfast? And like,
Cereal and
with
water.
water. Because I think you tried to convince me, like, I'm sure, you know, he did it when he was in college when, like, money was tight. And I was like,
maybe I was like, I'm sure your brother did it. He
You're like,
had to have done it. Everyone
that totally
does it.
makes sense because everyone does it. Like, it's what you do when you're on a budget.
Yeah,
Can't afford the milk, you just do water and cereal.
exactly.
I'd rather have dry cereal. That's so
I'd rather just
gross.
have a glass of milk.
I'd rather have it with
True.
the water. It's really not bad. Both of your faces.
The looks that we
Really?
just
You're gonna
gave
try and
Addie.
get us on camera?
Okay, here's my story now.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
memory.
your story time.
This was maybe like the first year that we were all friends, but we had this like group of friends too that we would all hang out with, and they were gonna have like a big Christmas party, and we were gonna go too, and we had rented this Airbnb that was super cool. It was like a castle Airbnb, and we were really excited to go, but then plans for the party changed, and it became a different type of party.
Not up our alley.
Not up our alley of things that we were expecting. And so I was like, none of us wanted to go anymore. But I was like, we already paid. And I was
Yeah.
like, I know our friends are going to be so mad if they're like out this money.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're not going to go. And so, anyways, so I told my mom, I kind of thought my mom would maybe foot the bill for us because I was like, they're just doing things that are
Unsavory
unsavory things. And my mom was like, I really don't want you guys to go. So we were all super poor too. We were like,
Yeah.
20. And so she's like, I'll, but I was like, we just wasted the money on this Airbnb. She's like, I'll cover it for you guys. I was like, oh mom, what an angel. And so she covered it for us and it was great. And then we were like, let's have our own Christmas party. And we did. And we all got, Taven and I got matching elf pajamas and Cody got
Oh,
a
yeah.
Santa Christmas pajama. And we had a sleepover that night too, which is first of all crazy because we were like 20, 21,
Yeah.
like, and it was just like we pulled a spare mattress out into the living room, and like so I think Cody slept on the couch and me and Taven slept on the bed, but we
On
had
the
this whole
futon.
thing and on the futon.
Oh God.
But it was crazy because if you know my mom, I cannot believe she let Cody stay over at our house. Like, that was
That
crazy.
was crazy.
It was insane. And she let him stay over like 2 or 3 times for sleepovers, but me and Taven were, both of us were always there.
I think, I was the buffer.
Yeah.
Taven's there.
I don't know why we were having so many sleepovers, but it was really fun. And that was like
It's a great time.
such a fun Christmas party. We watched Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and
Oh, God.
yeah.
That was the Addie's first
That
lie.
was the night.
That was the original lie.
yeah.
Addie's rolled over, sleep mask on. She had already popped her melatonin. She's under a blanket, rolled away like
movie's
From the
like
TV.
From the
halfway
TV.
over.
the movie. Well, I thought the movie just
It
started.
just started, and
Oh.
Cody's
And
like,
I was like, Addie, you're not watching the movie. And she looks at me. Well, she turns
With
to
the
me with
sleep
the sleep
mask
mask on.
on.
And she's like, I'm watching the movie.
watching!
And then turns back over.
just clearly,
Just
Absolutely
the
not
bold-faced
watching.
lie. The most. And it was like, what are you saying?
We both were like,
I'm watching the movie.
I just love that you said that and then immediately roll back over.
Didn't even try to watch the movie.
I was watching it in my mind because I've seen it so many times.
I can hear the dialogue. I'm just picturing Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, he's got I feel like a big role in this. Don't touch the table with your feet, Cody.
I'm just fidgeting a little.
I told Cody before we started filming, I'm like, no fidgeting, because you touch the table, the microphone's on, and it gives feedback. Taven last week on our episode, she dropped her vape. I haven't listened to it yet.
I apologize to the listeners.
She says it's so loud.
Addie, yeah, I like drop it, and it like to us it's not that loud. So Addie's like, "Oh, if you're listening, sorry, Taven just dropped her vape. There might be a little bang." I listened to the episode yesterday. It was so loud. It was jarring. I was like just in my zone doing some yard work, and then that happened. I was like, God. So apologies.
So, yeah, there are some little fun memories. Oh, that was so fun. I love a trip down memory lane.
Me too.
We have done so many things together. That's so crazy.
Too hard to pick just one favorite memory of the trio, but...
Yeah.
The one I said, it wasn't even the one I had planned.
What was the one you had planned?
The Antelope Island one.
Oh, just say it.
Oh, so there's this place
topic.
in the Salt Lake area, northern Utah.
We have 8 listeners and they're all
They're all
over
here?
it.
Hey,
All right, okay.
one of them lives in Russia.
That's true. We have a listener in Russia.
To
We love
you Russian listener, if you can understand this, there's a it used to be an island. The lake is gone pretty much.
It's not an island.
Cody, I feel like you're getting real caught in
I'm
the
getting
weeds
caught.
here.
Anyways, so it's a terrible, terrible place. And we went there after I graduated
Just
college.
for fun.
Just for a little like day trip. Like, let's go to Antelope Island. And we got like destroyed by bugs because like the gnats and like the brine flies that are out there are like just horrible. And they're all up in your business.
Disgusting.
And they're small enough, even if you have a mosquito net,
They
can get through the damn net. And then they're just trapped in there with you. And you eat 10 of them. Or at least that was my experience.
Can I share how you woke me up that morning?
Yes.
Did I wake you up?
No, it was Cody. Well, you called me.
Okay.
But I'm like dead asleep.
Yes, I remember.
Passed out.
I had just gotten home from my final class of college.
Addie,
So I was hyped.
I think, calls me, and I like roll over. I'm like, hello? And then Cody yells into the phone. He's like, fresh set of hours, Taven. What are we doing with them? I'm like, what are we doing?
Why are you yelling?
So funny because we called you, right? And you're like, okay, I'm in. And then the renter for the bottom half of our house, he's our friend too. We were like, we're doing this thing. He's like, I'm in. And then we call our other friend. He's like, I'm working, but I'll get off early.
I'm in.
I was like
in.
Snapchatting him, like, hey, what's up? You trying to take the day off work?
So within an hour, we got like 5 of us together.
To go to Antelope
To
Island.
go
went to
through
Antelope
the
Island.
7 realms of hell, or what is it, 9 realms?
Antelope
Yeah.
Island is my favorite thing to recommend to people who come to Utah for the first time, because I truly feel like there's no other place like it, because it's awful.
So weird.
And it's weird. It's a bizarre place.
It's a once every like 5 years kind of.
It is.
You have to go just to remind yourself
Once a
how
decade.
horrible it is.
Yeah.
Just to remind you how good you have it in your house.
Yes.
The
Although-
amount of bugs that fell out of my hair when I showered.
We did go at the worst time of the year. Our friend looked it up
Yeah.
after we left. He's like, this is the highest bug season. I'm like, oh, we should have maybe checked that before we went out. But,
Yeah.
but we don't plan like that.
We got lunch at a little sushi spot, and
Yeah, we went to
a
that
retro
game store after.
Yeah.
That
It was a
fun.
great day.
And then that night, didn't we play card games?
I think we played Mario
Yeah.
Party or something. Oh my god, we did play card games.
We played Egyptian Rat Screw. Had some drinks.
and got drunk. Well, tipsy.
We
A little
played
buzzed.
so much Mario Party at in spring this
The
year.
beginning of this year, yeah.
We played
Like April and May,
Insane
we
amounts
were
of
hitting
Mario Party.
Mario Party every day.
I swear, every time Taven came over, which was 3 times a week, we were playing Mario Party.
Taven would walk in, we'd hand her the GameCube controller.
Let's go.
Let's get it going.
It's time. And it always
Let's not
puts
mess
one of
around.
us in either the worst mood or the best mood possible.
Yeah.
Cody gets in the worst mood.
Yeah. Even when I
He'll be
win.
like, this is so unfair, this game hates me, and then he'll get a star, and he's like, but he can't be happy, so he's like, well,
the star doesn't
I-
even mean anything.
it doesn't mean anything, you
It's
know?
stupid. It's gonna just go away anyways,
Yeah.
like everything in my life.
I have so many videos of Cody on my phone that is like him being upset about video games. There's one where we were playing Super Monkey Ball, and
We should
Cody's
post
literally
that on the story.
We
on our
have
Instagram
to.
story.
It's so
embarrassing.
good. It just popped up on my memories the other day, and I sent it to them. It's literally Cody's just like hitting the floor. He's like, I hate this game.
It's really
It's so
funny
embarrassing.
if you know Cody, because Cody never gets angry. He's very even keeled. And when we got married, I put Super Monkey Ball 2 on our wedding registry because I wanted it so bad. No one bought it for us because it was like $90 probably, and no one wanted to buy us a video game. Yeah. But I bought it for myself with some of our wedding money, and I was so excited. And I've seen Cody play video games. Like, he's played, you know...
And he's good at that.
Yeah, and he's good, and he doesn't get that frustrated. But we got Super Monkey Ball. He's never played it before, and he starts playing it, and he's like... yelling and swearing. We had a beanbag chair and he would throw the remote like into the beanbag chair.
Stomps off and storms out into the other room.
It's so frustrating. The controls are so clunky.
It's and I've never played it, you know.
And I'm really good at Super Monkey Ball.
And yeah, Addie was just like...
That's true.
That's what I think mostly frustrated. It's like, we were all sucking. It's like,
I was just as bad as
whatever.
Cody was, yeah.
But seeing Addie just like zoom through the levels like it was no big deal.
And then Cody and I
doesn't even
all
break
our
a
lives
sweat.
on there.
And yeah.
It's rough.
That was so funny. That's a funny video. Yeah, we'll have to post that.
It's a good one.
Alright, well, with that, all those lovely memories, now we can dive in to Over the Garden Wall. I'm sure we'll have more memories scattered throughout because they're going to be popping up.
I'm going to keep thinking of them.
So, Over the Garden Wall, for those who haven't seen, like Cody said, just pause and watch because it's super short. It's on Hulu. You could probably
it's so good.
Honestly find it on YouTube. Yeah. But it was a little special that came out 10 years ago on Cartoon Network, and it's the story of two brothers wandering through the unknown. There's going to be a ton of spoilers from here on out because we're talking about the whole series.
That's why we say pause and watch.
Pause and watch.
Pause and watch.
Spoilers ahead.
Oh, lots of spoilers. One more thing that's not a spoiler. Elijah Wood is the main voice actor. That's Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
And he crushes.
Christopher Lloyd is another big voice actor in it. That's Doc from Back to the Future. So it has some really good talents in there. Okay, now it's spoilers from here on out.
Spoilers ahead.
So, you know, these two brothers, they're in the unknown, and you find out throughout the series that they had, like, tripped. Oh, it was like Halloween night. They were in the real, regular world. They had kind of fallen down this hill and into a river. And then there's debate what this world they're in is. If it's like in between life and death. If it is like traveling through the afterlife. But
or
then
if
they
it's
come
just
back.
a dream.
If it's
That's
just
what
a dream.
I thought. I was like, was it just a dream the whole time?
But so they're in this kind of fantastical world for all, like, the first 8 episodes. And then you kind of see how they ended up there. And then the last episode, they come back to the real world. But yeah, so... Cody and I have seen it before. Taven's never seen it till this year.
It was my first watch.
So I'd love for you to just tell us your thoughts before you watched it, and then thoughts after, maybe while and after.
It was definitely not at all what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but they had, like, talk about it a lot, and they even have, like, gone to, like, parties. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to our yearly Over the Garden Wall party, and I'm like, what? So I think, like... When you first told me you were going to that party, I thought it was like a tea party or something. It sounded so like, oh.
Well, that my friend throws this killer annual Over the Garden Wall party, and it's like themed on Over the Garden Wall, so it's very like whimsical, and everyone dresses up like little animals, or like, you know, I have these costumes that you're wearing. And then it's like food, like we kind of have a little tea party. She makes potatoes and molasses and stuff like that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking kind of like Bridgerton vibes, kind of like something. Okay. But then they told me that it was like a cartoon, and I was like, okay. But they were like, it's a very spooky, like Halloween-y cartoon, and I was like, what? So I just had this like very just like unexpected going in. I was like, I don't know what to expect. And then the first episode, I was like, oh, this is so cute, it's so fun. But then it keeps like, I don't know, my emotions were going through a roller coaster because it's like so cute, so fun, and then it's like very much my flavor of humor. Because there was like one episode I was like laughing so hard, and Addie looks over, she's like, are you okay, David? And I'm like, it's just so good.
It is so funny. The character Taven's dressed up as is Greg, and he's the little brother. So Cody and Taven, they're dressed up as Wirt and Greg. Wirt's the older brother. He's like a high schooler. Greg is the little brother, and they're like stepbrothers. But Greg is so funny. He has
I feel like he just has very like deadpan humor, kind of.
It's very dry, but so silly. It's like it's just like such a thing a kid would say.
He just says the most off the wall shit, and it's just so funny.
Where is that frog o' mine?
Just 1 second, brother o' mine.
I love how he says, "Oh mine." Ain't that just the way?
Just the way.
I quote that all the time. It's like in the first episode, and he's like, "Ain't that just the way?"
I said that 2 nights ago. Well, yeah, the first night that we watched it, I was on the phone with Jordan, and he was like, oh, long distance sucks. I was like, ain't that just the way?
It's so good for everything,
It
you
just
know?
fits.
Oh,
I
my
think I
hands
say it at
getting
work
bad.
probably once a day. Someone's telling me a story. Ain't that just
That's
the way?
just the way.
But yeah, then it really just pulls on your heartstrings in some spots. It's like, oh my god, like that's so sad, or it just like, and then it gets a little creepy, little spooky, and it's got so much, and it's so good, and yeah, I would highly recommend it to everyone. It's a must watch.
It is. It's so fun
Yeah.
because it deals with. It's fun to watch. The animation is really beautiful. I feel like
Yeah.
it's very unique, but it deals with, I think, a lot of heavier themes. You know, it's like death, and then like finding yourself and your self-worth, and
Yeah.
your relationships, responsibility.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
The whole show, I was like, God, where is like a terrible older brother? Because they're like, what, like wandering through this unknown forest, and where it's like, all right, I'm gonna try to find the right path, and Greg's like, oh, I'm gonna go play with this frog over here, and where it's like, okay, go ahead. I'm like, excuse me, don't let just your little brother wander off in the wilderness. Like,
I thought that was so funny you said that. Cody and I were talking about it today because I'm like, that seems like a very classic older sibling thing. I feel like my
Especially
sister,
a high schooler older
yeah,
sibling.
a high schooler. I'm like, but I think you had a reversed.
I am the older sibling.
I know, but I feel like a lot of older siblings can be mean to their younger siblings. When, especially like Cody and I were talking about when our siblings were in high school and we really wanted to like be their friend, or that, you know, they're our older sister and brother, and they were like, we want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But
we want nothing to do with you. I mean, that's exactly
But
it.
I feel like you honestly kind of had it reversed growing up. Sorry,
Yeah.
Taven's brother, but you know when we were kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna side tangent right here because Addie said something to me before we started filming that was like a
Addie
crazy...
should be a therapist. She's been having... I had some
Yeah.
I'll
breakthroughs
say,
too.
we should do
But you
Cody's truth
first.
bomb after.
or Addie says things that cause me to have a breakthrough sometimes. It's like she has them for me. But we were kind of talking about like my past like dating life, and you guys have listened to that episode. I share some of the horror stories of men that I've dated. But
If you didn't listen, Taven's dated some kind of mean,
Pretty poopy guys.
and
Yeah.
traditionally, Cody and I have seen firsthand the moments that she clings to in a new person. It'll be when someone's mean to her and she's like, I really like this person after they said this, and we're like, what? That?
Why? That was so mean. That wasn't even like funny mean. It was just mean.
it was just rude. Yeah, I don't know. It's a pattern. It's a thing that a lot of
You're
people
getting
have
better.
noticed about me. Oh, for
So
sure.
much better.
For sure.
Yeah.
I really think, not to get into it too deep, but this last year has been a crazy year. It's been phenomenal for my healing and growth.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we're like, oh, like these men they suck and they're so mean. And Addie was like, I had a thought before I came over today. And I think maybe the reason why you have gone for like mean guys in the past and gravitated towards that kind of the relationship. And she's like, is because, and like points towards my brother's room is right next to the room that we podcast in, and points towards his room. And I was like, oh my god, because Devin, just name drop Devin, oh well, he was so mean to me growing up. It was crazy. And sometimes maybe I deserved a little bit of it, but a lot of it was unprompted, because I would always get like pretty like clothes and like girly stuff for like Christmas and birthdays, and then he would get like sick toys and stuff, and I wanted to play with them. So I'd go into his room and I would like take his like Hot Wheels or Pokemon or whatever, and I would bring them back to my room to play with. And he was very OCD as a
Then
kid.
he'd throw things at your head.
He knew where everything was, and so he would come into my room. He'd be like, "Where's my Pikachu that I left in this specific spot?" And I'd be like, "It's right here." He's like, "Don't ever take my stuff again." And he would like beat the shit out of me. Like, I'm not exaggerating. He would like come onto my bed and just like kick me and punch me and just like go ham on me. And again, first of all, no one believed me for a long time.
Until like a year ago, I was bringing it up, and I was like, "Oh, he was mean too." It's like,
Thank
you.
you.
You think that?
You remember?
You remember?
Because I never like said anything to my parents when we were little. I would just kind of be like, "Oh, that sucked," like cry in my room for a little bit,
Taven ain't
whatever.
no snitch.
But I wasn't. And like now that I'm older, I'm like, "Do you guys remember when Devin used to beat the shit out of me?" And my parents were like, "Devin? This guy? No, absolutely." Because now he's very sweet, very like mild-tempered, just very chill. So I think no one believed me because of how he is now. But then one day I like was telling Addie something. She's like, Yeah, I remember one time we were racing Hot Wheels with Devin and he lost and he chucked a Hot Wheel at your head. I was like, thank you, God.
Classic
I felt so
move.
validated finally. I was like, he was so mean to me.
But,
so, yeah, maybe I felt like I needed Devin's validation because I always
well, yeah,
did like...
he would. He's your brother. He's your family.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I think you're... Because I did that with my sister. My sister was also really mean to me growing up.
Yeah.
And now she's, like, a lot more even-keeled. But it was, like... Yeah, you crave that family validation and that love.
Yeah.
And so that can transfer to other relationships.
Yeah, because I did whenever,
For
like,
sure.
it was the opposite. When Devin had, like, friends over, I would always, like, come down and be like, hey, boys, what's going on? Want to hang out?
Can I play too?
Yeah. So, but actually, you know what? Maybe, too, another breakthrough. Me and Devin
Oh.
are, like, really close now. Like, we're
Mhm.
very, like, we go get food together all the time. We hang out. We, like, share secrets. So maybe now that I've mended that, like, traumatic bond, maybe that's why I'm going for better men now.
Whoa.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Healing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Big steps.
Cody, do you want to share your breakthrough you had the other day?
No.
Guys, if you need a therapy session, let me know.
Addie's
I'm
pretty
so
good.
insightful. I'll share yours.
Oh, okay.
No, you can share it.
Oh, well, so I get home from work, like, this is like 2 weeks ago.
This was
And-
last weekend.
Was it last weekend?
Yeah.
But I see our cat. He's like a little rambunctious fellow.
Cody had
And
been on me for like 3 days about
I
playing
was
with
like,
the cat.
you're home. You work from home. You need to play with Benji more. I just name dropped the cat.
Oh
That's just
no.
a joke. But I was like, you need to play with the cat because I get home and he's like all riled up and he wants me to play with him and I'm like, you gotta play with him. He
I
needs
also
to
wanna
run around.
Put out there, the cat does not want to play with me. He sleeps all day and even when I try and play with him, he doesn't like to play with me. He likes to play with Cody.
Yeah. But so yeah, I was getting on Addie's case a little, and she goes.
Because
I was like, he feels so cooped up all day. He's because he's an indoor cat.
he feels so
I'm like,
sad and cooped up.
he's so sad and cooped
He
up,
misses
and
his family.
he's sad that he's away from us all day because we leave the night, And Addie goes, "Do you think that maybe you're just projecting a little on Benji?" I was like,
Cody's eyes like
son of a bitch, what?
Cody has
So-
an office job and he has been feeling cooped up and restless and sad to be away from his family.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I was thinking that our cat felt that way, and so Addie was like, I think you feel that way. So
Honestly,
nothing's changed, but I know where the thoughts are coming from now.
the breakthrough happened.
The breakthrough happened. I don't really have the means to do anything about it.
But now you know.
But now I know, and when I have those thoughts, I can think, that's not Benji, that's me. And I should go for a walk or something.
Maybe invite a few friends over to play.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
go mess around. So. Yeah, Addie's pretty good.
I called Addie this morning with an issue that I had. I was like, hey, can I get your advice on something real quick? Can you validate me on something real quick? So
I was telling Taven, I always know when she calls me. Here's the thing. Taven and I disagree on a lot of stuff.
yeah,
That's why we didn't have a podcast episode 2 weeks ago. But we disagree on a lot, and I feel like our outlooks tend to be really different. But when she calls me and asks if she says like, "Hey, something happened and I want to know if I'm valid in my feelings," I know she's going to drop the craziest story that not only is she valid in, but she should be like she's 100% right in. But Taven will be like, "I don't know, I feel like I'm being crazy." And I'm like, "Girl, you're not being crazy enough, let me tell you." Those are the only times you ever call and like ask for my opinion. And those
Yeah.
stories I'm always like, I don't know why you need my
I'm
opinion
like,
on
I
this
feel
one.
like I'm overreacting, and Addie's like, actually, you're underreacting.
I think you could react a little more.
Yeah.
Mm.
But, okay, back to Over the Garden Wall. That was a good little... I liked those
That
stories.
was fun.
A little tangent.
But so, yeah, it's really great. Taven, you liked it for your first
Oh, I
time?
loved it, yeah.
Loved it?
And they said forever, and even their roommate said, they're like, I feel like it's very much Taven's show. Like, it's right up her alley. So,
Yeah.
if you like dark, spooky, cute things, it'll be up your alley, too.
Dark,
Yeah,
spooky,
absolutely.
and cute.
Yeah.
That's very good description.
Yeah.
But I did a little reading on Reddit. This show really lends itself. There's like a lot to read into and analyze, I think. So I like reading the Reddit threads, seeing what people thought, what their interpretation of the show is. And the creators have left it kind of open. I mean, the consensus is that like where Greg and Wirt are in the show, that's kind of like the in between life and death, and they're trying to find their way back to life. That is the general consensus, but there are some different theories about like how the show is structured. So, some theories are that it's like purgatory, like they're in purgatory. So,
that's true. Maybe there's no beast in the afterlife.
Yeah, so I kind of want to tell you the theories I read and then see what you guys think.
Okay.
The first one, I did tell Cody this on our walk today, but Taven, I'm interested to hear what you think.
Okay.
Was that, maybe I screenshotted it. Maybe it's right here. Oh, okay. The series creator, the most common question he gets are, what are the black turtles all about? If you've seen it, you know there are the little black turtles. And in the first episode, there's like this big scary dog that they think is the beast, but then it gets squished and it barfs out a black turtle and it just turns into a regular dog. And then later in the show, there's this character, Auntie Whispers, and she eats these turtles. Like, that's just what she eats. So there are these, like, black slimy turtles, and you're not really sure what they are. But that's one of the most common questions the series creator says he gets. So I'll just read this quote. We never planned on explaining them, and I don't plan on explaining them now, but I can talk a bit about Auntie Whispers. It helps to understand Auntie Whispers if you view her as a sort of sin eater. She ingests all those turtles and removes them from the unknown. She is mostly benevolent, but the burden is clearly affecting her both physically and mentally, like the dog in chapter 1.
Okay.
So it's like these turtles will turn people evil, but she can handle that. Yeah. And so she is like going around. That's why they gather the turtles, so she can eat them and ingest them. So she.
Okay. I like that. Because, yeah, I totally forgot about that, but I thought it would play a bigger part in the show. Because, yeah, like, I think it's the first episode, that thing with the dog happens. Yeah. So you think, these turtles are going to be a big part of the story, and then they kind of show up again, but it's not really, like, ever delved into or explained, so.
Well, and I kind of like that idea, because Auntie Whispers, she's creepy, and that episode, you really think that she is going to be, like, the monster. But it turns out that, like, she is taking care of the monster. There's, like, a spirit who's inhabiting her niece, not her like, pseudo-niece or whatever. But you think because of how Auntie Whispers looks and how she acts that she's gonna be evil, but she's actually this, like, benevolent force trying to take care. Yeah.
I thought it was cool knowing, having watched it before and rewatching it, like, the dialogue, they, like, keep it so vague.
Yes.
Because they, like, kind of like, if you stay here, you'll be eaten. It wasn't like, if you stay here, Auntie Whispers will eat you. It's like, you'll be eaten. It's like, you're going to incur this trouble, or if you stay here. And it's like, usually we can't. Anyway, so it's like, it's so vague. And it's like, I feel like they do the dialogue so cleverly. Yeah. Like, in that, especially those scenes. The rest of it is
actually
also really
feel like
good,
there's so much jam-packed into, like, each episode, too, that, like, they're so short, but each one just has, like, adds to the meaning of the overall plot, but kind of, like, is its own little story, too, that I forgot about so much of, like, the first, like, parts of the show by the end of it. Because I was like, what even happened in the first 3 episodes? I don't know.
You know what? This is great to get into these 2 theories, and maybe we can talk about them coinciding. One is really nice, the other is not so nice, but
I don't like the not so nice.
I looked up this Reddit thread. I wanted to see, like, an episode breakdown of what the episodes mean.
Okay.
So, this first theory, my favorite, this is just the Reddit quote. Sorry, I had to burp. My favorite theory is that each episode is a direct tie to one of the 9 circles of hell in Dante's Inferno, culminating to the finale. Okay. So we can go through episode by episode and talk about what's going to be better. Should we do both at the same time or just one and then the other? Probably one and then the other.
Probably one and then the other.
Okay.
That seems easier.
So the first episode that is where they go. Well, it's starting at Pottsfield when they go. Sorry, just got a notification on my computer. But it's starting when they go to Pottsfield, the place with all the pumpkin people. Yeah, and the skeletons. Okay, and so that's and Enoch. Yes, do not forget Enoch.
Don't forget him.
So I like his voice.
Yeah,
it's so spooky.
Can you do it?
I'd have to get really close to the microphone.
Okay.
What does he... Give me a line. What does he say?
Hey, the pumpkin
like,
man. Welcome
your
to
children.
Pottsville.
It's like... I don't know how he does it. But I like... Because I feel like you can hear his voice. Like, it sounds like the guy is really close to the microphone. Because you can, like, hear his breath kind of like... Like, I don't know. It just sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Whoever the voice actor is.
But so that circle of hell, they say, is limbo. the residents in Pottsfield, they're like in limbo.
Okay.
Which, it's just so you can say your thoughts. I mean, I feel like, yeah, they're kind of existing, but they're
Yeah.
skeletons.
Yeah. They're
Oh
kind
yeah,
of-
I forget that they're skeletons.
So if you're a
skeletons
skeleton at
wearing
that
pumpkin
point, you, like,
heads.
can't pass on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
True.
You're just stuck.
And I feel like they're still trying to like have their mortal body, like by wearing the pumpkins and the clothes and like dancing
Having little
around.
festivals.
They're like they're not
Yeah.
ready to leave the life, but they're also too far gone from actual life. So that's I feel like that one's actually pretty good, Limbo.
The next one, Circle of Hell, is Lust, which is the episode with Miss Langtree and that no good Jimmy B.
Oh
Jimmy
yeah.
Jimmy Brown!
That episode was crazy.
With the gorilla suit.
Yeah.
Not to mention that gorilla that
Wait,
got
what is
loose.
the line she says? A is for the apple.
It's
Wait.
like A is for the apple that he gave to me. So
And then
I
it just
gotta
keeps
remember-
getting more and more depressing.
Yeah.
She's like on the floor. She's like,
I like it. She does good about doing the alphabet though,
yeah.
because like, anyways,
Why
She
did he
does.
ever leave me?
Y is for the Y.
But
Yeah,
so
I can't remember.
That would be the Lust Circle of Hell,
Okay.
which I thought was good.
Yeah.
That one feels like a real love though, not lust.
Maybe.
Because
I
he
don't
just
know.
At the
loved her.
end,
At
yeah.
the end, I love his voice. Like I was the gorilla the whole time.
I was saving up to get that wedding ring.
Yeah.
But she also thought he just, like, ran off, like, with another woman, right?
Yeah.
Or that he just ran
Oh,
off.
so I guess I guess that's true. It could
So
be
she was
her
lusting after
perceived
him.
lust.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I feel like these are loosely tied to the Circles of Hell.
Very
Yeah.
loosely.
Or Circles of the Inferno, whatever. No,
Thank
Circles
you.
of Hell, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, the third one, this is the one where they're in the tavern. And I have another note on the tavern after we talk about this. But the tavern
I do
people,
too.
it's gluttony. So they're all, I don't know, they have like a big feast in the tavern. I remember that. I feel like that's the episode I always forget. Because I love the
Because
highwayman.
Greg's like so
Oh,
hungry.
the
Oh,
highwayman.
yeah. And he
I'm
keeps
making
stealing all. He's like,
meat.
I'm gonna go get some food. It just keeps coming back
That's
with
true.
more and more
Okay.
plates.
Yes.
Now that you mention that, when I first heard that, I was
Okay.
like, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, Greg and they're just munching that
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
time they're in the tavern. It's so subtle. God, it's amazing.
Cody hated this theory when I first read it to him. Something else I read about the tavern, one of the artists, I think this was a quote I read from him. I might misquote it. I didn't screenshot this one, so I don't know. But I believe it was from one of the artists, and he said in that episode there's a tree outside of the tavern with like faces in it, because the Idlewood trees have like the faces, and it's the faces of all the people in the tavern. So there's this idea that those souls, like, that's their lantern, because the lantern at the end, that has all the lost souls in it,
Yeah.
right? That's what they're harvesting in the forest, is all these lost souls. And so that's kind of like their lantern. They can't leave that tavern. They're just stuck there. So then it's like,
Okay.
is Pottsfield its own tavern? Like, are these people stuck in their locations?
Oh, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because, yeah, when they get to the tavern, they're like, who are you? And, like, each of them has, like, an assigned role. And then, yeah, we're just like, I don't know, I'm just a dude. And they're like, oh, well, this is the highwayman, this is the tailor, this is...
I
yeah.
just freaking love the highwayman. He's literally like, I just kill people to make ends meet. And they're all like, that's the
He's
highwayman.
the highwayman.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
Just like everyone else, he's got his place.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, they're, like, attached to their, like, place and that, like, they're that person and they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's gluttony. The next one is the one with Uncle Endicott, the rich uncle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's greed. That's the
Classic.
greed.
Classic.
And I feel like that one, yeah, he just has a ton of stuff.
And it
So.
drives him mad.
And then they're trying to
Hunky
steal
Endicott.
things. Greedy to steal things.
You know
Oh,
me
that's
so
true. They're
well,
trying to
nephew.
steal the coins from him for the boatman.
Yeah. And then that horse is just trying to steal a bunch of stuff. That horse is super greedy.
I love that. I think we should steal things, he says.
Let's ask him. I think we should steal.
Me at a haunted
I
house.
I forgot that you did that.
I do that at every
I
haunted
know, I
house.
forgot because we haven't gone in a while.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
If you're hearing this Nightmare on 13th, allegedly.
Allegedly, sometimes
Something
at a
goes
haunted
missing.
house, I like to
Sometimes
see,
someone-
allegedly, if I can take something.
Someone might want to see if they could take something. Well, we don't know who, or if they're even, if this is a hypothetical.
I allegedly learned that trait from my mom,
Who allegedly.
who allegedly takes things when she has to wait too long at the
Oh my
doctor's
God.
office.
Not at the doctor's office, but allegedly. My mom does the same thing. But at restaurants,
What?
if we have to wait too long for our food, she'll put, like, a cup or, like, something in her purse, like a mug or something.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what my mom, if we have to wait too long, she'll allegedly take tongue depressors, gloves, ear things, Band-Aids. Allegedly.
Real quick, I want to circle back to the tavern episode because I
Okay.
thought it was so funny because, like, we're, like, 3 episodes in and Addie and Cody are like, yeah, we kind of feel like Cody is Wirt and I'm Greg. And I'm, like, thinking about it specifically in this one episode in the tavern where, like, everyone's, like, celebrating Wirt because he decides he's, like, a pilgrim and they're like, oh, you found your place, and they're, like, throwing him up in the air.
I'm the pilgrim.
And then Beatrice is, like, outside because, like, bluebirds are bad luck, apparently, so she has to wait outside. And then she's, like, in the window and, like, comes up to Greg. It's like, so how's the direction getting? And, like, Greg looks over and sees them, like, throwing Wirt in the air and is like, I think good. And I just specifically imagined Addie and Cody in that scenario where Addie's like, I think good. I think the
I think it's
direction
going
It's
going
really
great.
good, actually.
They're throwing Cody up in the air. They love him.
Cody is so Wirt. It's so crazy. If you know Cody, watch over the garden wall and think about him. It's like, he always is having these existential crises.
The world
and
is crushing down around me.
No.
in a cute way.
In a cute
In
way.
a charming
In
way.
like a fun cartoon
Yeah,
way.
it's a fun
right?
cartoon way.
I am not good with poetry, though, unfortunately.
What does he say? What's that line about the odious mountain?
He's like, oh God, what is it? It's like, will the bird never find the tree for want of the odious mountain? Or something like that.
he has some really funny little poetry lines.
They're so good.
I wanted to look up all his poetry and like go over to him. Like, I wonder if they actually like snuck in some like lore in there.
Oh, they probably did.
Because I feel like when he says his poetry, it's so random. He's just like walking and he'll just like drop a couple lines of poetry and then like the episode just moves on and they like don't mention it at all.
Maybe, they're like quotes from like famous poems that could like relate to something that's happening in the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think from just with the Odious Mountain one, it's when he's like feeling kind of lost and he's like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's like basically will like this thing never find the thing for want of the Odious Mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like, is he trading? I don't know.
I don't understand poetry.
I don't get it either. But it's like, is he trading what he really wants for something that's
That
like,
he kind of wants?
like that's distracting, maybe?
Okay, this is gonna
Like, is
make
he
me
just
sound
getting sidetracked?
really cocky, but I thought that was very obvious when he said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have to like decipher it. I was like, oh. Like, it was like very obvious what he was referring to when he dropped that
I feel like
line.
I understood the situation, but reading into it, I'm like, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's deeper meaning. That's what I can't read into poetry. I
Yeah.
understand like a base meaning. I'm like, I get what it's saying, but.
I'm just a poet, so I get it.
And she didn't even know that she was rhyming. That's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine quote. Anyways.
R.I.P. Sergeant Hope. Or Captain Hope.
Oh my god. That just reminds me. You know how a bunch of random numbers have been texting me lately?
Yeah.
It's so weird. So weird.
Is it
Because,
the
like,
New
literally.
York Police Department?
No. But, like, literally just random numbers or, like, numbers that I don't have saved or, like, people from my past that I haven't spoken to in, like, months or years have been texting me lately. And then yesterday morning, some random number texts me, like, screenshot of the article that Liam Payne died and just, like, put, like, a frowny face, like, emoji next to it with no other context.
And you
I was
don't know
like,
who it is?
no, I was like, it could be a scam.
Oh.
But, so I wanted to text back and be like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, speaking of, I literally am getting a scam call right now. I'm pretty sure. I don't know who would be calling me at 8 p.m.
They
on
know.
a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's really sad Liam Payne died.
I know.
Sorry about that. Love One Direction. Okay.
But
Moment of silence. Okay. Moving on.
moving on.
Moving on.
The next circle of hell is anger.
And the city of Dis.
I don't know what city of Dis is. Dis
What are they doing in
frogs.
this?
Angry city.
Dis angry city. But it's anger, and that's like the police frogs. That's
Oh.
they're on the boat, the police frogs, and then Wirt is voicing his frustration to Beatrice about their whole journey. So it's like
Okay.
anger
Yeah.
is that episode.
Okay.
But like that one's
And I feel like those frogs are on site. They got angry so fast.
Yeah.
that's true.
They just like,
Human?
no. And then they go after him.
Until he had a beautiful singing voice, and then they were like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
we'll let him
the
pass.
police frogs weren't. The rest of the frogs were like,
oh, that's
shut
true.
up,
Those
let him
police frogs,
sing.
they were ready to go. Okay, the next one is heresy, and that's the Lorna and Auntie Whispers one.
Mm.
So I'm going, Cody and I literally, I know what a heretic is when I hear it, but I'm like, I couldn't tell you the definition. You know, it's one of those words.
Yeah.
So we did just look up a definition for all of you listening so we can discuss. A professed believer who maintains religious opinions contrary to those accepted by their church or rejects doctrines prescribed by that church.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
Or
I feel like
anyone
you could...
who does not conform to an established attitude, doctrine, or principle.
Yes. So I feel like if you're using the example, we can use like Mormonism because we're in Utah. If you're like, if you like don't wear your garments, or you say that you don't have to go to the temple to go to heaven, you could be considered a heretic because that's like contrary to doctrine, even if you do the other stuff.
Okay.
So that's, you know, heresy. But in ties to Lorna and Auntie Whispers, I felt like it was because Lorna, she has like the ghost in her.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it could do with Auntie Whispers being like a sin eater, like she's doing this thing that you're not supposed to do, and that's like no one else can do that because it turns you into a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But she's like able to do that, and that's how she lives.
Or two, I guess like just in like not religion necessarily, but like virtue, because like Lorna, she knows she has this evil demon inside her, and she still like invites them in and like wants them to like befriend her, you know, even though she knows she's gonna turn into a demon and eat them.
Yeah,
so,
it's like
even though that's not the right thing to do, she wants to do the right thing, but she's not holding to it.
Yeah. Ooh, that's interesting. Lorna's the bad guy.
I feel like that was the whole thing.
Well, yeah, but it's like because she has a ghost in her.
Oh,
you know,
it's like
she's a spirit.
unintentionally the bad guy,
but she
is she
intentionally
intentionally the bad guy?
Because she knew she had the demon. Because
if you
her,
like,
that's why she lived with Auntie Whispers.
Yeah.
Like I said too, like the dialogue, like she uses is so vague. She's like, oh, you'll be taken. There's a monster that lives here, kind of thing.
She's the monster.
She never said it was Auntie Whispers. She just is like, bad things happen.
So that's the theory on that one. The next one is violence, and this is the dream episode. I love that. But it's Greg versus the old north wind. I love when he comes walking in.
His little cloud minions, and they puff up their chest. I love those.
That episode was so cute until it wasn't, when Greg made that sacrifice.
It's so sad, but so that would be the Circle of Hell violence, and they're doing cannon fights in the sky with the Old North Wind.
I actually it's not to do with violence, but I was wondering, and it's just maybe interesting in part of like the afterlife or world that they're in, that Greg's dreams affect the real world around them. Because like he dreams that it's getting like cold and stuff, and then it really starts snowing on them while they're sleeping.
Yeah, or is the real world affecting his dreams?
The chicken or the egg.
True.
The classic.
But I feel like it didn't snow or storm the whole time they were there until
No, it was raining the whole time.
Was it?
They took shelter like the first episode from the second episode from the rain, and then they took shelter again.
Because it is fall, you know, that's the whole thing. The leaves are falling, there are pumpkins growing, so it is just that time.
True.
Yeah.
That time of year. Okay, the next one, the next Circle of Hell is fraud. And this is Wirt trying to hide who he is. Wait,
that's not the flashback episode.
Oh,
where it's like him in high school, and he's like...
That is true.
Yeah. Isn't it the episode 2 where they finally get to Adelaide? Or is that the next one?
No, that happened already.
Okay, I was like, that would be a good one for fraud.
That's like before
This is the one where he is in high school. And it's kind of good because it's like Halloween. Everyone's in costumes.
Yeah.
And Jason Funderburker's a fraud. You think he's going to be a cool guy. And he's like...
He's a freaking nerd!
Sarah, are you coming to the party?
Let's go to the graveyard!
Let's go, Sarah!
You can stop holding my hand now.
Oh, okay.
But that's true fraud, Wirt, like hiding who he is and also trying to like hide his little brother or pretend he's someone that he isn't. So, that makes sense.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I feel like high school, that's the thing, everyone feels like a fraud in high school. That's actually a great Circle of Hell.
True. High school.
That would be, the 8th Circle of Hell. You just have to redo high school.
God.
And then...
But you have to do it at a public school this time.
I did! For a year and a half.
For a year, but the whole 3 years.
No, I'm good.
Me too. I don't want to do that.
And then the last one is treachery. The last Circle of Hell. Treachery, which is the beast tricking the woodsman and attempting to trick Wirt.
Yeah. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like this at first,
But now you're like, that makes
now that
sense.
we've actually delved in, because when you first said it, I was like, it seems kind of like reaching. But now that we've discussed it and like,
yeah,
I'm like, dang.
So it could be, purgatory, circles of hell.
I love when Wirt just finally comes into himself and he's like, almost seems like your soul is in here and that's why you're so scared. And
He's like,
oh, and he's like, oh shit, I was just talking.
I was just taking a shot in the dark, but I got you.
Yeah.
Shot in the dark.
Another thing I saw about the woodsman is the idea that the woodsman, he also was in between life and death, and when the lantern went out, it wasn't his daughter's soul that was returned, but his, because his daughter is the one in the house.
Yeah.
And he's like on the porch, and she comes out, so it's this idea that maybe he was on the...
She was waiting for him
She was waiting for him, and that's why he could, she wasn't even there, and he just was doing the beast's bidding.
Oh my gosh, that's actually what I thought too, because I was like, it seems like, she was just chilling, like, I was like, Dad, you're home?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then it would have been like her knocking on the door.
Yeah, exactly,
the house
coming home.
would have been empty in the afterlife. She wouldn't have been there.
That's why he's like the beast. If you remember, he says like, "Do you want to go back to that empty house? Like, don't put the fire out." Because in the end,
that's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
Okay, this theory is a little happier. I'm going to read the Reddit quote again. One of my favorite theories is that Over the Garden Wall is a love story and poses the question, if love is so risky, then why do we love it all? Each episode then covers a specific type of love that ancient Greek philosophers came up with.
Okay.
So the first episode, a storage. I don't know. I don't speak Greek.
Storage.
But it's without love. No, you don't have love. What happens in the first episode? Oh, well,
Pottsfield.
the woodsman doesn't have his daughter. You meet the woodsman.
Oh, wait, no. Pottsfield is episode 2.
Yeah, that's episode 2. First episode, it's just Greg and Wirt.
They're
and Wirt's going on about, too, how Sarah doesn't love him. You know, he's like...
he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
He's embarrassed of his little brother, too. He's like not having a great connection with Greg at that point, so...
Yeah, and then the woodsman also...
And you get introduced to the beast, who I would say is without love.
I would say so.
I think you could say that.
Episode 2, Agape.
Agape?
Agape. Love
like
for God.
And that one, they're like a cult.
Oh, that's true.
Enoch,
the Pottsfield is very culty.
And they love him.
They love him. He's their leader.
Okay.
Oh, because Enoch's not a skeleton like the rest of them.
Yeah.
He literally is like a deity.
He's like a big pumpkin man with a cat in his head.
Okay. Okay. All right. 3, mania, obsessive love, and that's Jimmy Brown.
Oh,
and she's singing to her freaking school children about this guy that left,
and he's a gorilla.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Okay.
Obsessive love, yeah,
I see that one.
Yeah.
4, Xenia, love for guests or friendship, and that's the tavern.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because they all welcome him in.
Yeah, and they're trying to find like his role.
Yeah,
giving
in the group, in the friend group.
Yeah.
Aww. Okay. I like that one.
Cody is the pilgrim. That is.
Oh,
Cody.
I'm not the highwayman.
No, I'm the highwayman. Obviously.
Who am I?
You're the tavern. You're the innkeeper.
You're the tailor.
Tavern host.
I love that actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the tailor.
Which reminds me, I think that the tavern keeper.
Oh, I want to be the apprentice.
Oh,
well, they're just walking around on a rope. Maybe I should be the apprentice.
He's the apprentice.
Taven has done that.
Hold him by the rope. I love that scene.
I actually just think that the voice actor for the tavern owner is the same as Luis from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering the whole episode. I was like, this sounds
Probably
so
is.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 5, that's pragma, committed love. What happens in 5? Is that... No, don't do that.
No, if you go over, it has the episodes.
The
and the other
description
theory.
of what happens in the episode.
Oh, I see.
5.
Well, what did we do? We just...
Endicott?
Endicott. Oh, I see, because he falls in love with that lady. Endicott.
Oh, yeah.
Committed love. Yeah, he's in love with the ghost, and then they become together, like a couple.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He was committed to loving that ghost.
Number 6 is philia, friendly love, and that's with the frogs. I actually always think that with Wirt and Beatrice, because obviously they have like a connection
Yeah.
But I think it's just that,
It's
like...
not romantic.
Yeah,
or
it's like
anything.
that friendship love, and I feel like it does come together in that
That's,
episode.
when they kind of start opening up to each other. She's like, so you
and
play the clarinet?
And she's, like, not wanting to betray them anymore,
Yeah.
because she is their friend. She's
True.
like, oh, I actually
Yeah.
care about these people. I don't want to take
we're
them
not going
to Adelaide.
It's cool. Good night.
Yeah.
That's true. We should just give up. Let's jump off of this ferry and not go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Man, people are so smart. They're just coming up with all these things.
I know. Number 7, Ludus. Flirtatious love. That's Lorna and
Wirt,
Auntie
and they're
Whisper.
flirting
They were
heavy.
flirting
Oh my
like
gosh,
crazy.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
They're like sweeping the floors together, so
Making
They're
dusty
blushing.
each other.
They're
Oh yeah,
blushing
their little
so big.
circles.
Oh my gosh, people are so smart. I would never think of something like this.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'd be like, it's just a show. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun to read about, though. Okay, number 8 is Storge. Storge. Familial love. And that's Greg's dream. And he's like, I need to be the leader.
He's trying to take care of his
He
brother,
loves
his
his brother.
family.
Yeah.
That's so
Aw.
cute.
I love a good brotherly story.
Yeah,
I
Cody's
wasn't
a
a good
sucker for
enough
the brother's
leader.
story.
Oh.
Number 9 is Eros, romantic love, which is Wirt and
That's-
Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah.
get introduced to Sarah.
Yeah, because they already know each other, so it's
Yeah.
not flirtatious like Lorna. That's like the...
True. Yeah.
They're flirting, they just know each other, but he made a freaking mixtape with poetry and
And his
clarinet on
clarinet.
there. That is romantic
I wish
love.
we could have heard a
Romantic
bit
as
of the
Oh,
tape, you know?
Can you make me a
Same.
mixtape and play an instrument?
And read some
Yes.
poems.
Please.
Okay.
For
That's
Christmas.
crazy.
I'll learn an instrument and also poetry, and I will make a mixtape.
And then the last one is Philautia.
Philautia?
Philautia?
Isn't that like...
Self-love.
Isn't fellatio like a word for like
I
a
think
blowjob?
it's fellatio.
It's close. Hey. No.
Self-love? Maybe.
But self-love,
It's
I
close.
feel like that's where he really learns to
Comes into
have
himself, yeah.
confidence in
Yeah.
himself, and
When he comes back to... He chooses life. He comes back to his own life.
Mhm.
Because I feel like the whole time he's like, should I stay here or should I try and make it
that's
home?
true. And that's like the self-love is not giving up on yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
so
like
sweet.
That one's good.
Both of these are like so good, and
I
I feel like they
They line up so
hold up.
nicely.
Yeah, after this light scrutiny that we've done,
Yeah.
Light scrutiny.
they hold up.
Taven, I have one last theory
Is
that
it
I
the
read.
sad one?
Okay.
That you told me in the
Yes.
car?
Yeah.
I don't want to end on that one.
Well, I need to get Taven's raw reaction.
Well, alright, sure,
Shit.
sure.
So the show, it really focuses on Wirt and his journey, and a lot of people think that, like, even this unknown, it's what Wirt's idea of the afterlife is.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a theory that Greg actually died, and when they're in the hospital, because Greg is all put together and he has this frog and a little clown hat, his hair is combed, he's clean, and Wirt's kind of like out of it. So it's this idea that, and the song is going where it says like the sweetest lie, or what does it say?
Yeah, it's something like that, like the sweetest lie of all.
The sweetest lie of
Something.
all starts playing. And so it's that the only way that Wirt can cope is to tell himself that Greg is alive, but that he actually is dead and he died in the river.
I don't like it.
I didn't like it either. It's so sad.
I hate it, as a matter of fact.
And I feel like it kind of like, I don't know, you could say it holds up a little, because like at the end, he's like in the Edelwood, and Wirt's like,
Yeah.
let's bust him out or whatever. And like,
He can't
in
get
Wirt's
free.
eyes, he busts him out because he can't cope with him being dead, but he's actually dead.
And you know what? It would make sense too, because I was wondering, like, when they woke up and stuff and they start, like, sharing memories, I'm like, how do they have the same memories? Like, I know, like, maybe they went to the afterlife together or whatever.
That's true.
But I'm like, if
but-
it was just a dream or, like, whatever, kind of like a projection, then, like, there's no way they would remember the same things and be able to be like, oh, remember that time that we, like,
yeah.
did this with this? And I was like, how do they have the same,
Well, and then there's a shot too where the rock is being put back in the lady's garden, but that was what Greg had requested of Wirt, was like, put the rock back because I stole it. So maybe Wirt's returning the rock for Greg.
I don't remember that scene, but that's depressing.
Oh,
as
it's just like a
hell.
little, the rock is just being placed
but
in the garden.
still.
But there's a lot to contradict that theory
There's
too.
a lot.
Okay, good.
Don't worry.
Good, because it's like, I think the last episode, because the whole time Greg has this little rock with a face drawn on it, and he's like,
Rock
rock facts! And
And
it's
they're
just the most
just lies.
ridiculous facts.
Yeah.
But then in the very last episode, he admits, he's like, I have to tell you something. He's like, I stole this from old lady whatever's garden, and I feel so bad about it. I'm a stealer.
I'm a stealer. But yeah, actually the only thing that contradicts that is people think the animation where the rock is being put back, it does look like Greg's hands, not words. That's the only thing that contradicts it though, so it actually might be true that Greg died.
No.
I don't like it.
I think a lot
refuse to
contradicts it,
believe
because all the people in the hospital they're sitting around Greg
Unless
and
we're
laughing.
all imagining it.
Okay, well then he imagined the whole thing and everything's
Then he's
not
just
real.
crazy.
Then
Then
he's
he's just
what if he's
batshit.
just in an asylum? You can say that if the argument is he's crazy, then you can just say whatever.
Yeah.
The sweetest
That's
lie
true,
of
because they
all.
are, like, talking. Greg's like, oh, look at my frog. And they're like, oh, you're so funny, Greg. Like, they're interacting with
Jason
him.
Funderburker.
No, not you, Jason
And
Funderburker.
you- oh.
Oh, it's so cute. He has, like, different names for the frogs the whole season. He's like, this is George Washington. And then the frog's like, because all the other frogs have clothes on, and then his frog doesn't. He's like, why are the frogs staring? He's like, because our president's in the nude.
The president's naked. I love that one. I like to think they are all in the same afterlife, and that's just like that is like maybe the purgatory or something. Like it's the real afterlife, and all the characters there are either like dying, dead, or like in the in between, like Greg and Wirt are.
Yeah.
And then when they all go back, like the woodsman, I think, and Beatrice, like they're all there at the same time.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they all are like back with their families and stuff. Like they all chose to go back to their life. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
what
they
if-
were all in the in between somewhere.
Oh my gosh, because what if, like, when Beatrice says she, like, threw a rock at someone and got turned into a bluebird or whatever, I was like, that's crazy. Even for this world that they're in, that's insane that would happen. So what if, like, she, like, threw a rock at an old lady, or, like, something happened, but then she, like, died, and then in purgatory, her and her family are, like, bluebirds, but then they, like, make it back to the real world where they're, like,
Why did her
humans
whole
again.
family die?
I don't know, bringing the whole family into it's crazy. Maybe
I
they
think
were in,
the
like, a car
family-
accident or something.
Maybe. That was a
Their
lot of
house
family.
burned down
Yeah, maybe.
because they're all in a house at the end. I don't know.
I don't know.
There wouldn't be a house there if it was a
That's
house
what I
there.
like, that it leaves it like vague.
So
so
ambiguous.
yeah,
so
you
open
can,
for theories.
Yeah.
and
You
that's
can
what's really
take
fun.
what you want from it, believe what you want.
I actually like I really like the theory of it being a love story of all the different types of love.
Yeah, that's cute.
Because what was that quote again? That was a nice quote. Hold on, let me read it.
Like, love is risky. Is it worth pursuing?
If love is so
Yeah.
risky, then why do we love at all? And I feel like each episode shows you why you love.
I asked myself that question. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I never ask myself that question. Unless I think about Cody dying.
Ugh.
It's risky.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just gonna say I think that
On
a lot
that
because
bright
I'm in a.
topic.
I was telling Cody, I was like, I know this episode's gonna get a little heavy because, well,
It's heavy.
it is. It's like talking about death and stuff. It can
Yeah.
be spooky.
That's what I love about Over the Garden Wall, because it looks so like you can
So
take it very
innocent.
surface
So
level, and it's like
charming.
cute and like, but it is like if you really want to dive into it, you can really make it really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just kind of spooky. Like, I don't know. I feel like Enoch's really spooky.
When
And
they're
the
Lorna
digging
Beast-
their
and
own
Anti-Whispers.
Oh, that's pretty spooky.
Yeah.
I just their voices are so good. The voice acting is so good in it.
There really is.
So we hope you enjoyed this dive into some Reddit theories that we just wanted to think about for ourselves.
Another little special edition episode.
Yes, Over the Garden Wall. It's time for a rewatch.
I might watch it again. We just finished it last night and I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I would
2
watch
nights
it
ago.
again. I just want to watch it so I can get all the songs down so I can sing along the next time.
Is that what we should do for our outro?
A sing
Maybe, yeah, we gotta do potato.
Mm.
There's a
Mm.
really
Little
good
P&M.
song. A little
Which-
P&M.
Actually, it was so funny because when Jordan was here visiting, we're like in the car on the way to dinner, and Addie and Cody start playing this song,
He's like, what is
and we're
this?
like, "What the fuck?" And they're like
we're on a
singing
Halloween
along.
playlist.
Yeah.
Like, this is on our Halloween playlist. And we're like, what?
And we're like, "Why?"
Okay.
But it makes sense now.
Yeah, let's do a little end with that. Maybe just the
last line?
P&M.
Just the first line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or wait,
I like the last line with the et. Or at least that's how Cody
like the
sings it.
last version
Oh,
of it.
the
Okay.
last
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, we'll do that. The somber version of potatoes and molasses. Okay.
potatoes et molasses.